Breaking news. The Dallas Cowboys are not America's team. America's nightmare. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Thanks to everyone who comes in and watch. Always great to have people that make all of this possible. Thank God that game is over. That was an absolute ass whooping with a horrible way to lose at home. How can you not be embarrassed as a Cowboys fan? Yesterday really was a bad day for many in Cowboys Nation. Their defense was bad. The coaching was suspect. The play calling was trash. This genuinely might be the most depressing loss. Their defense, especially the run defense, was terrible. Although the defense has an excuse with all the injuries, backups on all three levels of the defense. So I get that part of it. Although I think at some point the injury excuse is overdone. Every team has players playing hurt or is banged up with backups. And looking at Dallas defense, they can't tackle. They can't stop the run. So they can't get off the field on third down. You can't keep consistent drives. You have to rely on big plays to win. And a lot of times, as we saw again on Sunday, they can't make big plays in the secondary. Forget all the defensive problems. Your offense. The O-line is struggling. Your offense needed to score. Reminder, the Dallas Cowboys, who are truly a bad team, are really a mess offensively. They can't run the ball. The run game is non-existent. And because they can't get the ground game moving, the team struggles on early downs, leaving third and long. O-line can't block. Your offense cannot go on extended drives. Blown out at home to Detroit. Brutal heartbreak, bitter disappointment, utter dejection. And if you aren't mentally prepared to experience these emotions, then don't watch a Dallas Cowboys game, because you're going to have a full-blown meltdown or a mental breakdown at some point, stressing out behind this team continuously every week. I sat dumbfounded, staring at my TV screen, shaking my head in utter disbelief. I mean, they're not a great team, but I didn't think it was this bad. Never has a 3-3 team looked this helpless, pitiful. Nothing good can happen now. You are still 3-3 and have a bye to try and figure out how to not be this anymore. The Lions put a shell lacking on the Cowboys, exposed again in a 47-9 ass whooping versus Detroit. The takeaway here is that they had their balls ripped off of them. The Detroit game was an absolutely awful loss. Let's not forget when they lost the one game to the Saints, getting absolutely demolished at home, they looked defeated, undisciplined, and unprepared. It was an absolute ball ripped off kind of L. And you look at this game against the Lions, similar thing. It felt so deflating, as if the season was done. And now this. A loss like that on Sunday. This is the second time this season under Mike McCarthy's watch that the Cowboys got their ass kicked. Or is this the third time? I think this is the third time. It was just an awful Sunday. And I get it. If you sat there for 3 hours miserable as hell and having these bad thoughts, because the Cowboys, as we know it, are a damn bad team. Look, there's a reason they are 3-3 on the season. I mean, they are just a pathetic team all around. I feel like maybe we set the bar too high for them every year, because it's this valued franchise that people like to follow. The star logo holds more value. Well, the problem with that is they're a below average football team, and the last time they won anything was in the 90s. They usually win in the early months and fall apart in the second half of the season and always seem to come up small in the playoffs, getting embarrassed by a team like the Green Bay Packers. And the embarrassment has carried over into this season, it seems. We look at the names on this roster and say, yeah, they're not that good as it says on paper. Just another average football team that happens to be this brand name franchise that hasn't for years lived up to the expectations. This was a sobering reminder that this beloved Cowboys team that have fans believing every year is still that same team that beat up on bad teams but got abused by the really good teams. This wasn't just a loss. They just got slaughtered by the Detroit Lions. Locked the whole Detroit team up for assault and battery. When you sit there and basically just watch this team piss on itself and, suck like toilet water, it's a little tough. There's a whole list of things that drive me nuts with this team. And no, it's not only Dak Prescott. Two of the things that are right at the top of that list, you have a team that can't run the football. You're just going absolutely insane. Run the goddamn ball. When you have an NFL team that can't score and only scored 9 points, I'm looking at the head coach. I'm looking at Mike McCarthy, who should have, in my opinion, been fired 2 years ago. Jerry Jones is 2 years late. And after that debacle yesterday, the crazy part is Mike McCarthy still hasn't been fired. It's Monday in Dallas, and the man is somehow still employed. The fact that Mike McCarthy hasn't been fired after being blown out at home 3 times in a row lets you know the Cowboys are an unserious team. Reality is Jerry Jones is going to keep McCarthy because he wants to be right more than he wants to win. He got his priorities wrong. And this is my take as well. I understand fans wanting Mike McCarthy gone, but be careful what you wish for. And I honestly think he should be fired. Yes. And I say that sincerely because you give him his pink slip, and then you're going to promote Mike Zimmer, whose defense just allowed 9 straight scoring drives. And I'm not really confident in Brian Schottenheimer. I'm not really confident that he can call the offense. Maybe a midseason firing doesn't make sense. Just from what I've seen enough to say Mike McCarthy lost his team. Low effort, undisciplined, very undisciplined group, very, very undisciplined. And on top of that, his scheme and play calling is causing this offense to be very inefficient, even more than the lack of talent already is. You just can't get embarrassed like that at home. That's a fireable offense. And if you're Dak Prescott and don't put out a good performance, guess what? They're coming for you. I mean, for God's sake, Dak Prescott has his team in the red zone, and you're right there to score, as we saw yesterday, and Dak makes that throw and that mistake. Two weeks now of Dak making crucial red zone errors, wiping points off the board for Dallas. And for me, I feel like Dak is a small part of the problem. Like, he's a small part of the problem. If your team doesn't play well, the quarterback is going to get most of the blame. Even more now that he got $60 million in the bank. And with so many things not going well, it's hard to put it on one person. But I'm not going to sit here and act like Dak Prescott played efficiently, because he didn't. He did not play well. If you really boil it down and you watch some of these throws, they were woefully inaccurate. I think for Dak, he's making too many poor decisions and errant throws. And if Dak is not playing his best football, then the Cowboys have no chance. I've seen so much yesterday to honestly say Dak is inconsistent. Some days are better than others. Yesterday was one of those days where he looked bad. He had the 2 terrible picks and took multiple sacks on a team that put up 9 points in 60 minutes. The truth is, this team as a whole right now is not that good. They're not that good at all. This team sucks. This team is terrible. And it was once again brought to our attention that the Cowboys are the biggest fraud organization in sports. It's not good. Hey everyone, you know what? I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to check out the content. Thank you guys for watching the videos. Really appreciate it a whole lot. And if you guys like it, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, check out more content. I'm always talking sports. We got some great stuff coming up for you. So make sure you guys be dialed in and you guys tune in. But it's been great chatting with you guys. Hope your Monday goes well. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be safe, be positive, and do great things. We'll talk soon. I'm checking out of here now. See you guys next time. Take care, everyone.